The theatrical release of How to Train Your Dragon live action has officially been set, and everyone is talking about it. Why did Universal Pictures wait so long before making a real life version of the popular series? Many fans of the franchise have speculated that the studio intention was never to make a real life version, since no story will ever be nearly as good as the animation.
What? I'd never! Never!
The myth that Universal wanted to remain true to its series identity, that they were not at all interested in a quick cash grab, which will alienate the very people that supported them. That theory was put to rest when the film was announced in Comic Con. There were suspicions that the studio may fail to deliver its promises, like many Star Wars projects that fans have been waiting for 6 years. It was during the Super Bowl that Universal Pictures released a full-length trailer showing the wild characters, dragons, and the premise of the blockbuster.
It's good. It's
Yeah?
going to be good. It's
Right.
going to be good. I'm hoping the universe provides a path for me.
The world, location, or concepts, as per the trailer, looked like something that most hardcore as well as casual fans would like to explore. The bond between Hiccup and Toothless, as promised, is to be the main focus of the movie. It is why, since that is the major reason why the film is so much beloved, most people questioned the casting of Nico Parker playing the role of Astrid. As for the trailer, she appears to be decent enough. She kind of has a warmth to her. She does not overstay her welcome, nor does it feel like her character is being celebrated at the expense of the main lead. If the trailers are to be believed, many people will not mind her character. She's the voice of reason, someone that encourages Hiccup to do what is right. Let's dig deep into the plot of How to Train Your Dragon and be done with it. So the trailer takes place during the ongoing war between the Vikings and the ferocious dragons. Once in a while, some dragons wipe out large communities of Vikings through their dragon fire. The Vikings can't just sit idling around, wallowing in their grief. They have their revenge by hunting down hundreds of dragons by putting them to the sword. Every generation of Vikings are taught to hate or fear dragons. When they are of age, they are taught multiple ways of hunting them. The dragons, meanwhile, have witnessed the slaughter of their kind by these puny humans. In short, there is no love lost between the species. That leads to the main star of the film, Hiccup. His father, Stoic the Vast, is the chief of the village. He is next in line to ensure the safety and survival of the Viking race. Hiccup does not have time to decide whether or not to accept or run away from his responsibilities. One day, while busy hunting dragons, things work out when he captures a black defenseless dragon and has it pinned down. He lets the dragon go because the plot demands to. This film is not rooted in reality. Most Vikings will have aimed for the throat, but Hiccup cannot get himself to commit such vile acts to that innocent dragon. He lets the dangerous fire-breathing dragon loose to take off. The dragon attacks him instantly, only to stop. Hiccup and Toothless create an emotional bond. They can sense each other's emotions, fears, and needs. They are one. Hiccup rides the dragon throughout the valley. He realizes that the dragons were never the threat that the Vikings thought. The war would have been over if the dragons were given the benefit of the doubt. Hiccup has a tall task of convincing everyone in the community that dragons are not the threat as advertised. Will Hiccup convince his father to spare the dragons? Will his friends join him in the fight for freedom? What other threats will Hiccup and Toothless face together? The writers want to create something special that keep existing fans happy, all the while bringing more people into the fan base. While watching the trailers, it can be observed that there is no political messaging that make people sick to their stomachs. Empowerment messaging, no. Climate change assertions or race-related topics. Universal is not the biggest studio in the world right now. There is a reason as to why Disney, Amazon, Netflix can afford to make horrible content for as long as they want to. The companies have an endless stream of cash ready to be deployed if needed. Universal has to be intentional about each project they greenlight. Hiccup with Toothless need to carry this film together. With its characters, all the action need to contribute to the story as a whole. In short, They are to push the story forward and not be pushed by the plot if the movie has any chance of being respected. In case this film pops off, it's not telling what this film could have on the fashion scene in 2025. The clothes, Viking hats worn by the characters in this film are unique, spectacular, and something that most people will buy if this film is as decent as its trailers. The movie trailer luckily avoids the traps of never ending comedy that most people are getting sick and tired of watching. The movie ought to be a serious movie through and through. The writers have a tall task of showing the audience the ruthlessness of the dragons, while at the same time ensuring that the viewers have some compassion for these creatures. That seems like a tall order to juggle. It is being reported that the movie executives have finally realized that they'd made a very huge mistake, failing to capitalize on the hype during its run. The peak of the franchise was the correct time to make a live action animation. When going to watch the movie, most of its fans are obviously expecting different variations of dragons, each with different stripes, habits, or relations to the Vikings. All the dragons should appear with purpose, not just showing them off in one scene, never to be seen again. Fans are expecting a decent villain or a large, scary dragon, a threat that pushes these heroes into difficult situations. The good news is that during its series run, competent writers created all sorts of terrible villains that will be applicable in this specific movie or future entries. The only things the writers of the movie have to do is pick the right villain that fit in with the story they're about to tell. The current writers of the movie should have assumed that no one knows about the franchise. It would be unfortunate if they expected the movie going audience to already know about the Viking people, dragons, and all the many characters that will appear in this film. The movie seems like it will be filled with endless expositions as a tool of storytelling. Every scriptwriter in Hollywood should know, show, don't tell. Most good movies end up losing fans due to this significant rule. Like in the film Adaptation, show the rivalry or hatred between the dragons and the humans over the generations, not just saying it in a lengthy exposition. The friends of Hiccup should be given something to do. Each of them should have a role in the overall plot of the movie. It made it seem like in the trailers they were all comical relief and nothing else. How to Train Your Dragon is not a perfect series by any chance of imagination. It suffers a lot of times due to an endless string of expositions. A lot of information is conveyed by major characters in a boring way. Most concepts already established in the world are often undermined with new entries. Changing writers or directors with incompetent ones that have no interest may have led to this problem. Some of Hiccup's friends become annoying over time. Fans will excuse their behavior or personality in the early entries, but due to constant screen time, they have become the worst part of the franchise. In the movie, Hiccup's friends should be given limited screen time as possible. Astrid Hofferson is a character that most hardcore fans will want to see his portrayal. The movie better not be a carbon copy of the animation. This is not Disney. Most fans may be upset if the movie is exactly like the existing animation. There should be a difference. The dialogue, emotion, or action should not be hitting the same way. Switching things up may be a good choice. This should be done without changing what makes How to Train Your Dragon into a decent film. I cannot wait to see if the movie lives up to the promise made by the trailer.